I was waiting for Pastor to come in to do the devotional, but I'll read for you a devotional thought. And this is titled Most Important Choice. So, whether we are at home or away, we make it our aim to please Him. For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, so that each one may receive what is due for what he has done in the body, whether good or evil. And that's taken from 2 Corinthians 5, verse 9 to 10. There are many things in this world that no matter how much we would like to, we simply can't change. It is what it is, and we can't change it. We have no control over the country we are born in, the parents we are born to, or how we look when we enter this world. We can't choose our genetic makeup, such as whether we have a big nose or little feet, blue eyes or brown eyes, blonde hair or no hair. We have zero control over the economy, the weather, or people, and how they feel about us. All that being said, one of God's greatest gifts to us is the gift of choice. What an incredible privilege we have been given to be able to decide for ourselves whom we serve. This decision is not forced on us. We can choose where we want to spend eternity. God leaves this big choice to us, and it's the most important choice you will ever make. The Bible tells us in Joshua 24, verse 15, you must choose for yourselves today whom you will serve. Have you made your decision yet? Please wait no longer. There's no time to waste. Jesus is coming soon. And certainly all the signs foretell that he certainly is coming soon. Let us pray. Jesus, we thank you. We love you. There are times we come up short in expressing our love for you and our love for each other. But Father, we pray for forgiveness. Pray, Father, that as we move now into this training session, that your sweet Holy Spirit will be with us, that you will hasten the fingertips of those who are logging in. And Father, may we learn something from this session, we pray, in Jesus' name. Now, I don't think Mr. Williams is on because he had an emergency dealing with today. So let me apologize for him. Now, the person we have to do our presentation today is a very, very busy man. And he really jumped through hoops to be with us today. And we thank you, Pastor Chambers, for that. The person I speak of, he was born in Kingston, but grew up in the parish of St. James. He attended Cornwall College and West Indies College, now Northern Caribbean University, where he completed a Bachelor of Arts degree in Religion and Theology, and subsequently a Master of Arts in Pastoral Theology from the Inter-American Division Theological Seminary. He is also scheduled to complete a Master of Information Systems from Northern Caribbean University in this year, 2020. Pastor Chambers is an assistant professor in the School of Religion and Theology, NCU, since August 2019. Previously, he served the Central Jamaica Conference of Seventh-day Adventists for over 11 years as assistant to the president for evangelism, training and development, director of communications and health ministries, and district pastor. He is married to the beautiful Roxanne McCoy Chambers. McCoy, a teacher at the Willowdene group of schools. They together have 3 children, Jahim, Janae, and Jahil. His philosophy in life is, there is no limit to the usefulness of one who, by putting self aside, makes room for the working of the Holy Spirit, amen, upon his heart, and lives a life wholly consecrated to God. And that is a quote from Ellen G. White. Pastor Chambers is passionate about sharing the gospel using technology, writing, and preaching. He has authored several articles, devotionals, Bible study guides, and he recently published a book on becoming a mature Christian, how to experience consistent victory in the Christian life. He hosted several radio programs on NCU FM and Love 101 and has developed software to assist the church with doing ministry more efficiently. In his leisure time, Pastor Chambers enjoys lawn tennis, table tennis, football, and cricket. Pastor, we thank you for giving of your time to us. Certainly, we could not afford to pay you for this session, and we thank you for your sacrifice. On behalf of the Willowdene Group of Schools, our principal, Mr. Peter Williams, we welcome you.
Thank you, Mrs. Brown, and thank you to the administrator of the school for having me. And it's my pleasure to share with you greetings all. And I'm going to, at this time, share my screen. As Mr. Brown mentioned, the session is being recorded, so we want you to be aware of that. Let me just share the screen to introduce the presentation this evening. It's being recorded because we want it to benefit persons, even persons who are not here this evening. Now, what we'll be talking about this evening, as you see on the screen, is Google Classroom. And as you're aware, I don't need to go into why we're doing this and all that. All of us are aware of that. G Suite, which is the account that the Willowdene Group of Schools has, and most educational institutions receive this suite free of cost from Google as a contribution to where they have started. So G Suite is a family. Let me just go to the next slide. G Suite is a family of apps provided by Google to allow for collaboration, creation of documents, forms, videos, websites, maps, calendars, all sorts of online content. But for the Google Classroom, what Google has done is to integrate all of that into one LMS or learning management system. So if you're used to using Google any at all, Google Classroom should not be strange to you or should not feel strange to you. All right. So there's no need to be afraid of it or to feel depressed if you do not know something. We are all ignorant at different levels and in different subjects. Learning technology favors the explorer, and I'm speaking from a perspective of one who has been exploring technology for the past 23 years, right? You must be willing to explore, watch tutorial videos, and read the manuals or the help content and practice in order to learn. Now, you might be thinking that you are forced to do this because you're a novice. The truth is that is not so. I build software. Every year I'm working on a project. That's my hobby. And I read a lot of books on technology and I watch a lot of videos. Matter of fact, I'm subscribed to one platform that I pay money to watch videos, just to watch tutorial videos. So don't feel bad. I'm just saying all of that to say don't feel bad if you have to watch tutorial videos to learn how these things work. All right. So what we'll be covering is the Google Classroom. But before I do that, it is important that you have access to your G Suite account. I discussed it with Ms. Lawrence Brown earlier, that we do that. So at this time, can we have a show of hands for those who do not have access to their G Suite account? I'm hoping that Miss is Miss Johnson White on? Yeah, I think she's on. Is there anyone? Well, there's no raise hand button, but you can just post in the chat. Just click on the chat and say something, or indicate if you do not have access to your WGS account. or you can unmute and say it. All right, so I'm going to assume, based on the response so far, that we all have access to the G Suite, the dot. And by the way, Willowdene is the only Adventist school in Jamaica besides NCU that has that set up. The other schools right now are scampering to try and get that account, because usually a business place would have to pay $5 per month per user to get that set up for their company. So it's a great privilege to have access to this type of account. All right, so since we are all set up, let's go now to what we'll be covering for the session. We're going to be looking at Google Classroom as the main thing. The other stuff will be touched on throughout, because as I said, these all come together to make Google Classroom work. All right. And I'll also touch on Google Meet if I get the time in this session to do it when I'm done with the Google Classroom. All right. Are there any questions? Okay. If there are no questions, let's go now to the
Pastor Chambers.
Yes.
I have a question. I don't know if you'll answer it further in the meeting or if now is an appropriate time to ask.
Sure.
It's pertaining to the WGS G Suite account email address that I have. Some time ago, my parents were having issues with emailing me documents. Some were able to, some were not able to. I don't know if you can say why, because I stopped using it after a while.
Okay. Is there anyone else who have had that challenge or is having a challenge? All right.
Well, like I was saying, Pastor, there are times I'll be sending a group of emails and send it to my Gmail account as well. And it bounces, it doesn't go through. So I don't know if it's because it's coming from somewhere else, you know.
All right. Yes.
I also have that challenge.
Yeah, but is it a current challenge or you had a challenge before?
Current.
Current challenge.
Well, for me, because I'm now in Google Classroom, I'm not doing that anymore, so I don't know. But I have to give an email for the students to send thing at times.
All right.
It's the same situation with me. The children now send directly to me in the classroom, so I don't ask the parents to send to the email anymore. So I wouldn't know if it's still a challenge.
Okay. All right. It's important that you check. I know that what happened is that NCU is the one who actually hosts the email, even though it is distributed by the Mona UE, but NCU hosts it on their server, and it was handed over to CJC. So I need to check on that to make sure that DNS records are set up properly, and that there's no major problem where that is concerned. So I will investigate that afterwards. All right, thank you very much. Let me again share my screen. So we're gonna start. So finding the app, some of you probably would have found it already. All of Google apps that are available to you are found up here at the icon here, and you click on Google Classroom where you're supposed to be going. I was assigned an email just for the sake of the tutorial. So whatever I create, you'll be able to have access to it. Secondly, I need to let you also know that the app is available on your mobile device, on your Android and iOS. And when you put it on your mobile device, it will request of you to install a device policy, because technically what it's saying is that, and we have to be upfront with you, that once you install a G Suite account on your mobile device, Google assumes that the company owns the phone. So it will put certain policies on it, and the administrator of the Google Suite has certain control, not to control your device in terms of seeing what you're doing and so on, but in terms of locking down the Google Suite, the G Suite. But it's not anything to be afraid of or to worry about, because I don't see where it will be necessary to do anything like that. So you have selected your account. Now, the key thing to remember also is that sometimes you may have multiple Gmail installed. For example, I have many, and these are not all the Gmail that I have, account that I have. So when you click Google Classroom, please make sure that the correct email is selected, because if you're selecting a different account, it may not function. You might be in a wrong classroom and don't even know it. So please watch up here. Very important. All right, now I have already set up a class session, which I'm going to ask you to explore first before I go into how to create it. So I'm going to open the session, and the first thing I'm going to do is to try and add folks to the class. What you can do is that you can go to your Google G Suite, your Google Classroom, and click. Oh, I need to create another tab to show you how to do that. Join the classroom in this for the sake of this session. The right way to do it was to have the email address of all the students and then send them an email. But for the sake of this session, I will allow you to use the key to join. So what you do is click on the button here and click Join Classroom. So click on the plus button, click Join Class, and then the code that you're going to enter is this one. That's on the screen. I'm giving you 2 minutes to do that. That's 0, by the way. It's lowercase 0, not. I mean, it's lowercase O, not 0. Oh, and by the way, this applies to those who have the G Suite account. If you do not have it set up, I'm not sure what Miss Johnson White can do for you at this time. Otherwise, you may just have to watch the video and then later on get your thing set up. All right. So I think we should have all had it now. Let me see if there's anyone who have joined since. Okay. So I'm seeing where Miss Johnson White, Lisa Lewis, and Andrea Minot, Shani Nugent have joined. Okay. So I can also add a teacher. So for example, if I want my principal or vice principal to come in. What is Miss Lawrence Brown done? I'm not sure if that is your yes, there it is. So I'm inviting her to join as a teacher. For that invitation, Ms. Lawrence, you need to check your email address. Oh, you joined as a student already. All right, that's all right. Okay, so I have persons in the class. Others can join afterwards. So the first thing I'm going to explore is a stream. You can look at the stream and you'll see different things being posted. What I want you to do is to first comment. I want you to comment on the worksheet. No, not on the worksheet. Please comment on the greeting. I greeted you at the beginning of the class. I'm going to ask persons to just click under the comment section and type a comment. Say good afternoon, class, or good afternoon, everyone. I have already read the course outline. The instruction was to read the course outline. So please comment.
Before you move away, Pastor Chambers, from the admin persons to the classroom,
right.
I don't know how many of you have seen where I've actually created groups for each form and each grade.
Okay.
I've put the name convention in the group.
Yes.
So there are groups such as Form 1H at wgs.edu.jm. And just by using that code, that address for the group, every single member within that
will be invited. Oh,
yes,
very good.
To join
so
the
I could
class.
invite the group. That's very good. Yes, yes, yes. So rather than just the,
So they don't have to type in individual emails.
Okay. Oh, that's a very important point you're making. So let me just reiterate. So this have to do with the students.
Correct.
Right. So
In
so
fact,
yes, yes.
Actually, there is, if for example, Mrs. Lawrence Brown wants to communicate with all members of a particular division, whether it be ECD or high school or preparatory division, there are group emails that are set up for those groups as well. That would allow her to disseminate information and email to all members within those groups.
Right. So it's, for example, if you are sending an email, you could type form 1. It should be coming up in the, unless I'm not added to that organizational unit. But that's a good shortcut you're creating for them. All right. So persons have been added. So I'm going to move on from here. So let me see. Persons have comment. So I've seen one comment from Miss Jasmine Brown. She says, "Good afternoon, teacher." So that comment is under the post that I made about the course outline. So this is my first post. And I could pin this to the top so that once the students come in, they will all see this, because this is an important piece of material that they need to be aware of. So I'm seeing 2 comments. Lisa Lewis is commenting. Very good. All right, so you're getting the feel of that. You can also do the same thing for the test and so on. So for the coursework, what I'm going to quickly ask you to do is to, under organic chemistry, I'm going to ask you to do the tests. Yeah, and then I'll ask you to do the work. So I'm going to ask you to please go. 6 persons have been assigned to the test. So please click on the test and click a form to do the test. All right, don't worry about the wrong or right answer. This first one, it was asked if it because of the unique nature of chemistry formulas, I couldn't put it in Google, so I had to use a photo. So just type 1, 2 or 4 in the answer box, and then for this one you select one answer, another answer, click next, type in an answer here, answer to my essay, another one here. Don't spend too much time on it, just click next. And then this is matching. You're gonna match 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're supposed to be matching this one to the top here, and then click submit. My paper has been submitted, so I'm gonna ask persons to just do that. Are you getting through with the test? Okay, all right. I have at least one person turning, Miss Johnson White. And what I'm gonna do is that I can do one of 2 things. I can mark her paper here, or I could go to the I only got 2 out of 30, but let me mark her paper in the Google form. first. The one she did was organic chemistry. Need to switch account so I can have access to it. Okay.
We did say that it doesn't matter the answer, so I just went through and click anything.
That's fine. That's fine. I got only 2 myself, so no problem. I'm not sure why it's not. It's keep. I need to log out of that admin account because it's preventing me from seeing and marking the paper. So let me log out of this. Yeah, it is. Which account? Okay, finally. All right. Oh yeah, I have 7 responses, so I'm just gonna mark the quiz papers quickly. I have 1 person. I'm gonna give. Oh, I marked that one already. So this one is from Miss Johnson White. I'm gonna give her 8 points for this. 8, save, and I'm gonna release the score. So I'm saying, great work, keep it up. And she should see that in her email when I release the score. All right, so I'm just gonna mark 1. I'm gonna come back here, and I'm supposed to be importing her score, but let me see what she got. I put it in manually for now. 18. So she got 18. All right, yeah, fix that. 18. And then I'm going to return. So when I put in the number 18, it's only a draft. So I just need to return, and she will see her notes. Okay, so great work. What you'll notice is that I had to do it both from Google Doc, from the Google Sheet, Google Form, and from inside here because they do not sync automatically. All right, so okay, so some other persons have already are turning in. I'm just gonna give some grade, 20, and then I return. Okay, 25. Later on, I can import it from the correct grade from the Google form. Last one. Right, now where do I go to see those grades? When I go back to the main classroom and I go to grades, you will see that I'm having, I've already assigned this quiz to a section. It's called test 1. And you'll see the grades here. And you see I was already experimenting with Miss Chambers. She had done the other assignments and receive the grade. Okay, so those are where those come up. The same thing would apply to the other classworks, like the assignment for acid tests. You have all been assigned it. You could always go and view the question and do it and submit the what you're doing. All right, let's look at the calendar. You notice that this class also will have a calendar. I want to view it. I want to be able to do, okay, month view, right? Yes. It should give me some dates. Okay, it should give me some dates. Yes, assignment test is due on Monday, May 4th. Assignment organic chemistry is due on Monday, May 6th. And there is one more, acid, antacid is due on the 12th. All of this was generated automatically when I set the assignment and its due date. It has a calendar that it does automatically. It also has a drive folder that it created for you for this class, which include all the material that I've uploaded for the assignments and the quiz itself. All right. So what I'm doing now, I'm not teaching, I'm only exploring. So I'm just showing you how it works first. Again, this right, the grades will show the overall grade and so on. So let's go and see how we did all of this from scratch. All right. So when you log in, let me close all of this. And I noticed I got some email from some of you. Once you make a comment, it's going to send me an email as to what comment you said. Charmaine doesn't like her grade. I'm sorry. That's all right. All right. So let's start now. The first thing we're going to do is to create a classroom, right? And you do so by clicking on the plus button and say create class. All right. The class name doesn't have anything to do with the subject or anything like that. You could call it, you could say Bible. It's a unique name that you give to it. All right. So I'm going to use Bible class. I'm going to say Bible class form 3. The section now is where it becomes specific, because you can have form 3A, form 3B, form 3, but the section will be form 3 in general, and the subject is Bible, and the room is the classroom that you're having it. It could be, let's say I'm keeping it in the chapel. Once I create, then it will bring up all the 4 sections that I just explored a while ago. You're going to have the stream, the classwork, the people, and the settings. So the first thing you're going to see that it creates a class code that you will give to the students to join the class, just in case the emailing system is not working. All right. You can change a theme for this class by either selecting from what is in existence, or you can upload a photo from your computer. All right, that image is not, it doesn't have to be there all the time. So let's go with the stream. Again, you saw that a while ago, how it works. You as a teacher can create items in terms of posts. And again, that's why I made sure that I introduce it to you this way, because everything that you create in Google Classroom is simply things that you would have done already in Google Apps. So let's say I'm posting the course outline. It's the beginning of the class. I'm posting, okay, hello students, please take time to read the course syllabus, right? And make comments where necessary. All right, and you add the course syllabus by clicking on the add button. You can either use a link that you would have probably had before, or you upload a file, Or you can even use a YouTube video. You could have gone another teacher and and record yourself introducing the course, and you add a video to welcome the students. To use a file, you go here, or you can select it from your Google Drive. So let's say you're going to upload a file. I still have these chemistry stuff I'm going to be using, right? And then you would post. You can schedule a post, by the way, because what you probably this is a post about an assignment that you don't want to be available until Monday, for example. You could say schedule, and you schedule this to take place on Monday at 8 o'clock. It is scheduled, and you'll see you have saved announcements that will be posted at that time. All right, so I'm going to post it. Let me see if I can edit and post. That's allowing me to do that, so I have to create a new post, but I won't have to do that now. All right, so that's where you use to post anything, any resource, any talk communication with the students, any announcements that you want to make to the students. That's where you do it. The real work, the real action takes place in the classroom section. Before we add work to the classroom section, there are a couple of things that you want to do before. One of them is that you want to create topics. All right, because your work, you want to group your work based on the topics. In the university setting, we call it learning unit. So each week we cover a different learning unit. Not every class, but each week we cover a different learning unit. So for example, this is Bible. Let's say we're covering the creation story. That will take some time to do. Then also another topic that we're doing is the fall of man. Right? The fall of man. Then we're going to add also the plan of salvation. Right? The other thing that I would recommend that you do first too is that you want to assign percentages, but I guess you can't do that until you start assigning work. Let me add people. Let me post a code, please. Please join the classroom. You guys, let me just post it in the chat so you can join it. Please use that code to join the classroom. It's in the chat. All right, because I can't do that. I can assign. Oh yes, I can. I can assign percentages. Where I go to do that is settings. When I go to the class settings, I can do grading. An important aspect of the Google Classroom. You can say weighted by category. I prefer that because I'm sure you give different weight to your different assignments. Quiz have different weight, assignments have different weight, tests and final exams have different weight. So what you do is to add categories to this specific class. So let's say you're going to have assignments having a weight of 20%. You're going to have quiz having a weight of 10%. You're going to have tests or exams having a weight of 30%. Maybe you have midterm. All right, let me just put final exam just to keep it short. Having a weight that's 50%, 40. I need 10 more percent, so let me just make quiz 20%. No, I still need 10% more. What else do I do? Let me add discussions. 10%. Oh, that's too much.
Participation.
No, let me. I want to remove one of these.
Yeah, you need to have
let me reduce
less
quiz to 10 and test to 20. All right, so those are the categories, and I need to save. Always make sure you save when you make changes, right? And that now will help when you're creating the work. Now it will help. So I have my plan of my topic throughout the term, right? And then now I start creating work for the students to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is to create, is to add a material. So this is resource material. So there's a resource material on creation, the creation story. And I say, please read this document in preparation for next class. And the reason I had to do those stuff before is because if you notice now, I need to assign it to a topic. So this is the creation story, and it is to be given to all the students. And I'm only seeing one student in the class so far, and it's Bible class. This could have been assigned to multiple classes because maybe you're teaching Form 1A and Form 1B, so you could be replicating the same work across different classes. And then I add the document. So that document is a file that I downloaded. Let's say I downloaded that file from from the internet. No, I think I have some files and resources. Let me see. No. Oh yes, I have some resources, right? Okay. And then I'm going to remove this one and upload that one, right? So that is something coming from the school, from the Biblical Research Institute. I want them to read that in preparation for the class. Boy, this one is big. It's taking some time to upload. Taking time to upload. I'm going to cancel it. Let me add a different document. The documents are huge. With this one, right? This is about William Miller's view on the sanctuary. All right. So when I could schedule it. So maybe it is next week's lesson that I want this to be a part of. But I'm going to post it now so that you can see it. And you'll notice that it comes under the correct topic. If I did not assign a topic to it, it would have come in mid-year. All right. Then I'm going to add a quiz. Should I do quiz now? Yes, let me do it now. I'm going to add a quiz. And this is going to be on the creation story. No, let's call it test number 1. I could say Form 3. Instruction, follow the instructions in the quiz. Now, if you notice, Google already created a blank form to allow you to create that quiz. Because that quiz is not created inside Google Classroom. It's created in Google Forms. And if you're used to creating Google Form before, this will be a breeze for you. But let me first assign some stuff before to this. So let me say this is going to get 50 points. And if you notice now, I can select the category that this will fall in because I've already assigned percentages to the different categories. So once I say this is a quiz, if you remember, this should be within the weight of 20% of the grade. And the due date is that this must be done before Wednesday the 13th and at 11:59 p.m. And this comes on the topic of creation story. All right. If you notice that I did those stuff creating a topic and a category before so that it makes life easier for you. The truth is that you could have created a topic here. If you notice, it allows you to create a topic, but that's kind of working in the reverse. So let me know. Click on this button to create the quiz, but I'm going to assign it also so that it can be posted and while I'm creating the quiz. So I'm going to create a quiz. This is test number 1. And I'm going to pull a quiz that I had from years ago. One of the beauty about Google Doc is that it makes life so much easier for you to post a quiz online. I've not seen any other tool that allow you to create quiz so easily. And I'm going to show you how that happens in a little while. End of year exam form 3. Okay, so here I find a form 3 exam, right? And you notice this is a test that already been documented in Word. It's multiple choice, true and false, and what's this? It's short. It's a table. Fill in the blanks and essay. So I'm going to create some questions for those. The general instruction for the quiz is found up here. So I will copy it from here and I'll paste it here for the instructions. Then I'm going to create the first section I want to do is I want to collect the student's information. I'm going to say first name. That is required, right? They must put their first name. And I'm going to add a new question. So this tab over here is where you're going to find the resources to add, because what you're doing actually, you're creating the full quiz tab by tab. And these are the tools that you use to do that. So it's another question I want to add last name. Again, it's required. Then I want student ID. Again, it's required. And then I'm going to take, final thing is the email address. Very important. Right? And that's required. Then one of the things about creating online quiz is that you want to maintain the integrity of that quiz. Let me give it a different name. I'm going to call it Form 3 Bible, just to identify it better. Maintain the integrity. So what I do is that I do not expose the entire quiz all at once. I break it down in sections. So when the student comes on to the quiz, for example, they'll be seeing the section to enter their name and so on. So what I do is that I allow them to only see that part before they can move on. And the way to do that is by creating different sections. So before I add another question, I'm going to add another section. So this is section A, and this is multiple choice. All right, and you put the instructions for the multiple choice right there. So you're going to say indicate, this is not a verb, indicate by circling, that's old school. You're going to say by selecting the correct answer. I'm sorry, this was created at the wrong place. So I need to move back up these questions into the first section. These are not supposed to be in that section. This is a new section that I'm creating. Maybe what I did wrong was that I should have placed the cursor at the bottom at the last thing before I created the section. So when I click on it now, I'm going to add some questions though. So I'm going to add the first multiple choice question. And here's the beauty about Google Forms. So the question is, what I normally do, since when it's numbered like this, I don't want Google to copy the number. So I'm going to undo the numbering by blocking everything and click here. So it takes off the numbering, and then I copy the question and paste it. Then for the options, I'm going to simply block it, copy all of them once, go into the first section and paste. And if you notice, it automatically drops in the options for me. But make sure that you select multiple choice. Okay? Well, I'm going to come to that in a little while, by the way. Before you move on to the next question, what you need to do is to go to the answer key to assign a value and the correct answer to this question. When you click answer key, okay, so this question says, the Son of God had to die for man because man had sinned and could not pay the price. God could not change his law. I'm seeing where it's all of the above, right? And you are the one who select the correct answer and give it, you could say 1 or you could say 2 points. what else you could do here is to assign a feedback. So let's say you're going to assign a feedback to incorrect answer. And if somebody gets this incorrect, as a teacher, I would want to say to them, please, well, to be honest, I usually don't give feedback for these questions, but I'm just giving an example. You could say, always pay attention to all of the above option. If you want to say all of the above, you need to pay attention to that. And for the correct answer, you could say, very excellent. But that's not necessary, just for sake. Is there a question? Somebody asking a question? Let me see. Oh, the info on the screen bigger. Let me try. Are you seeing it bigger now? All right. I think I'm going to use that. Are you seeing it bigger now? Should?
It was a little bit bigger, Pastor. Can you make it a little bit bigger?
I was trying to avoid that, but go ahead. Let me see. Is that good?
That's better.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to add another question. I'm just going to add 2 questions. I'm also going to add 2 multiple choice questions. So one more. Go back. I'm going to copy the question, paste it, then I copy the answers. And I'm learning that when you don't have a full stop, these should be lowercase. Options. And again, I go to the answer key and say, when the angel of God heard that the Son of God had to die, they became very sad. Some of them offered to give their lives to man. Again, all of the above and 2 points. And you could give feedback and you click done. So that's multiple choice questions. You don't need to click required, because the students, you can give the students option to skip the question. That's your choice. All right. So now I want to create another section. Okay. And for this section, section B, I'm going to have true and false. All right. And the way I do that again is to add question. And let me go to the true and false questions. And the first one is, there are 69 books in the Bible. I paste a question. And then I have to give the option to say true. And Google will automatically pick up that I'm doing a true and false question, and they'll suggest false as the other option. I select it, and then I go to answer key and say this is true. And I assign 2 points. Click done. And I add another one, or add 2. Then I copy that. Here's the question. And I give it the same thing, true. Google will pick up. And then I do my answer key. The first 5 books of the Bible can be referred to as Torah. That's true. And I add my points. Always remember to add your points, because it will throw off your quiz. So those are 2 sections. I'm going to create one last one. No, sorry, that shouldn't be created. If I created a question by mistake, I can delete it. Okay? Delete the question. Or if this question, let's say I have a multiple choice question that has the same possible answers, I could duplicate the question and modify it. All right? Let me add another section. So this is section C, and I'm going to do matching. All right? I put the instructions there, and then I create a question. But the difference with this question is that it's not multiple choice. It's now called multiple grid choice. That's for the matching question. Multiple grid choice. And then, did I have a matching question in here? I may have to do it manually. Day 1. Let me use the creation week as for the matching question. So over here, I would have day 1, day 2. I'm just going to do 3 of them. Day 3, and I say match the days of creation on the left with the correct item that was created on the right. And for this, I could put the vegetation, and I put light, and I put the firmament. Okay? And I'm going to put my answer key. So for day 1, what did God create? Created light. For day 2, he created a firmament. For day 3, he created vegetation. And I put my points for each answer. It's not a good practice to put 2 points for multiple choice though, but just for the sake of this session. So these are the correct answers. All right. And the final section I would want to create is the SS section. So section D, S's. I'll say answer any one of the following questions. And then I will add my question. So for the essay questions, I simply copy and paste the question, and the question type is going to be a paragraph, because you're giving them more space to answer to respond to the question. And the answer key will say this is worth 10 points, for example. All right? And this is where I think feedback is important for your essay questions. Right? You could give feedback here. Okay, done. Let me add one more. Here. And this is paragraph again, and this is where 10 points for consistency. And one of the things I want to point out about the other question types is that, well, these are the one you'll work with, is that you could use an image. So for example, for the chemistry, it was difficult for me to post the formulas like that. So you could post a picture with the questions 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you'll ask them to say, select what is the formula for oxygen. I know it's not there. I know enough chemistry to know it's not there. But then I could, well, Google seemed to be embarrassing me here, because I thought they never had the options for chemistry, but they seem to be having it. This is interesting. Let me see if I could type it from the keyboard. I would have to look that up, because I honestly never knew that they could actually get the subscript. Let me see, H3. Maybe there's a special keyboard. Usually in these cases, from what I've learned from doing the exam, like in Greek and Hebrew, is that you may have a special keyboard. I would have to do some more research into that and check on it. But you may have a special keyword that you could use to type in the answer. And you do that, you 2 points, and then done. Now, in the case where all the students are in your class, let me see if people have joined the class. I've only had 2 persons joining so far. Let me show you the key. Here's the key again for those who want to join the class. I'm just putting that there for 2 minutes, for 2 seconds. For the students who are in your class, creating this quiz as it is okay, right? They'll be able to access it. But in some cases where, and by the way, to preview your quiz, you can click on this button up here and you'll see the how it's done, right? For those who you may need to share the question with persons who are not inside the domain. Because right now the students may not have the WGS domain. You can still, outside the Google Classroom, share the quiz with them by clicking on the settings icon, and you'll say restrict to users in Willowdene group of schools and trusted organization. You uncheck this, right? And then another thing that you want to do with a quiz is that you want to say release grade later, because you don't want the student to see the correct answer before other persons have completed the quiz.
Okay.
All right. So release grade later. Then you could give a confirmation message to say, thank you for completing this quiz. You will hear from your teacher as soon as it is marked, and you save. And then you could have this link. When you click on the preview icon and it brings this up, you copy this link here, this link up here, you would copy and send to the students who are not inside the Willowdene domain. That's one way of doing it. Or you could go send and type their email addresses in here. You could say, I could send it to myself, right? Right. You add as many email as possible by typing comma, or you could cut and paste the email in bulk. That's one way. Yes. And if you notice, because I created the sections, they'll have to click next in order to continue with doing the quiz. Right? Next. And you'll see the multiple choice. I'm going to click any answer, it doesn't matter. True or false. The matching, again, day 1 is light, day 2 is firmament, day 3 meditation. Next, I answer my essay and my H2O, and I submit. They could choose to send a copy to themselves if they want, but when you're done, they're gonna see a copy. So that is for the quiz. Any question on the quiz on creating a test before I move on from that? That's a major part of the work that Google Class. All the other stuff really are just management stuff. The major part of the work is when you're creating quiz for the students to do. Any question on that?
Yeah.
Yes.
About the grades, I don't know if you said it, or maybe I missed it. The grades, I noticed that when I try to do it with the WGS, well, after the students complete the test, it gives an option to input the grades or import the grades or something.
Yes.
And you can't do that if you're not on the GC.
Yes. So that's why I mentioned that the Google test is a separate thing from the Google Classroom. It can be done separately. So you'd have to manually type in the grade for the student. But the truth is that if the person is not within the Google, the domain, even then the whole Google Classroom thing won't benefit them. The whole management structure will not help, because they won't be seeing these stuff, these stream and these work. But again, and I'm glad you bring that up, because I was saying, Mr. Lawrence, that as it is now, before the students get those emails, you can still benefit from it by doing the quiz online and so on. And even some of the work, let me give you a trick as to how you can get the work outside of Google Classroom. You can click on the dot here and say copy link, right? And you can share that link with the students and they can view it. All right, because if I go to an Ignito where I'm not logged in and paste that link, you'll notice that once I log in with my Gmail account, I'm going to log in with a non-G Suite account. I'm going to say, hope I can get the reads Damian at Gmail. Oh my, the password is not there. Let me try another one. So this is a non-Willowdene email. Oh, it's asking me to create a class not found. Let me see something. Let me paste it again. Oh, it's still not working. Yeah, it worked for my it worked earlier for my Gmail account, but seems not to be working now. But what I would recommend, as I said, is that right now you can still benefit from doing the test by changing the permission levels and allowing them to do to the quest to the quiz. But you would have to manually enter the grade. Otherwise.
But Pastor,
Yes.
if you don't have your classroom on the WGS domain now, you're using it from your personal email, and that's what you're using to communicate with the students. You will not be able to see the grades there. You'd have to. I don't think you're even able to
assign grade to them. Yes, yes.
That the students gave. I don't think you can see the responses that the students gave. You'd have to manually put in the grade that they got, and I don't know how you know which grade they got.
No man, for the quiz that they do, you can see the grade.
If you're not on the G Suite.
Yes. Remember, if you are the one who created the quiz, you know. So if you created it with using your personal email, you can see the results. I'm glad you bring that up. Let me see. Classwork quiz. Let me go back. Let me see if I can edit. You see, the problem I'm having is that this thing, I'm logged in with too many too many Google accounts, so it's actually not allowing me to edit the. All right, let me go to one. Let me switch account. Okay, switch account. So, okay, view score. Okay, refresh. Request edit equals true. Got my phone. Oh, no, take off view score and request edit. Get stuff done in Google Drive. All right, what I'm gonna do, oh yeah, here it is now. Okay. Right, so you're gonna say request. No, I'm going to, oh yeah, here it is now, right. So now for the responses, you're going to be able to do one of two things. One, let's say you gave the quiz at 12 o'clock today and they're supposed to end by 3 o'clock. You can turn off accepting responses by clicking this button, right? You could say time for doing this test has ended. Please contact your teacher if you need any help. Right, that's one. And two, for the individual students who did the quiz, I'm the one who did it. I'll mark it by going through, and as the multiple choice have already been marked, and the true and false, and the matching is already marked. But for the essay, I have to mark it there, and I click save, and then I release the score. Okay, and then you could type a message and click send email, and that time the students will receive your score, and then you take the score and put it in your wherever you're putting your score. Right now, if you're not using G Suite, you'll have to manually do that. All right. Any more questions on the quiz?
No,
okay.
No.
All right. If there are no more questions, then let me move on to. We have already added, in terms of adding people, I've already shown you that. Okay, I don't think I need to go over that again. For the grades, I've already shown you where to go to add your categories and to set your grade calculations. All right. And I already showed you how to join the class. Okay, so that's it. Any question on Google Classroom?
Okay, Pastor, I have one question.
Yes.
When they give students work and they submit it, sometimes they want a report as to if you have received their work. Can you generate the one report to generate all the students who have not submitted?
Okay, yes.
So that you can give the students feedback. Instead of seeing the number, you could see their names.
Here it is.
Well, and we know but we want a report so that they can generate it and send it to them, to the parents.
Oh, for the individual student?
Yes.
Because you wouldn't send it,
sometimes
you wouldn't send the work
no.
Right. So that's a good question. In my exploring Google form, I've not seen anywhere because you guys have not done the let me go to the other classroom where you have done the work to see. But this is a section where you would see what the students have done and so on. But I've not seen the option. Let me open the classroom that you'd have done the work. In terms of, yeah, that's an important thing with any LMS. The thing about it, you see, Ms. Harvey, when I was observing it, is that Google Classroom is not a complete LMS. Google Classroom is it's an LMS that uses Google Suite, Google Apps to help you. But in the end, there are a lot more things that an LMS could do and should do that it doesn't provide it for you. But it does help for those schools that have never used technology and they can bring it to a certain level. But there are some limitations to Google Classroom. For example, like even restricting students who have not paid their school fee and so on. Those things would have to be within a customized LMS situation. Here, I'm seeing where we can download all the grades. But I wanted it from the classroom. Oh yes, let me get it from the chemistry classroom. Let me go to this work. Okay, only one graded. So download. Saying access denied. Switch account again. It's really okay. Oh my, it really, I don't want to sign out. If I sign out, I'm going to be in problem. I may have to end the meeting, so I'm not going to sign out. But just to answer your question, Ms. Harvey, it seems as if on this section here, you can put all the grades in a Google Sheet, and that would be very good. Only one person have a grade here so far, so it should show. Let me download it in a CSV and see how it looks. Right, this is a CSV, which is not as well formatted as it would in the Google Sheet, but here's what it will produce for you. Right? And I think that would be pretty good if it allows that to do that. All right. So for the next few minutes that I have, I'm going to look at Google Meet, because that's the other tool within the suite that you that would make sense to you. All right. Let me close out everything and start a fresh browser. Okay, so for Google Meet, again, Google Meet used to be Google Hangouts, but they have changed it. Google Meet is the premier video calling app for Google. You can say join or start meeting, and let's say you call this.
Pastor,
yes.
before you move on, I tried to use the live classroom within Google Classroom, and it says Hangout, but somehow I am not reaching anywhere, so I still have to have Google Meet classes inside of the classroom. In the Google Classroom, they have what they call Hangout, but not sure exactly how to operate.
No, man, don't use Hangout. Do not use Hangout. Use Meet. So let me repeat that process. Let me repeat that process. So let's look at the screen. When I click here,
Okay.
So Hangout is there, but you're not going to use Hangout. Use Meet. All right. And then you click join class. So this is Form 3 Bible. And one of the things I've found with Meet is that you can actually schedule a meeting. That means, but let me continue. And what you'll do, you will join. And once you join, then this is where you copy this link. You copy this link to join the meeting, or you can say add people. And since Miss Johnson White have already grouped the folks into different form, you could say Form 3. You should be able to do that. If I was in that, I'm not sure if Miss Johnson White can add me to that organizational unit. I should be able to say Form 3, and all the emails for Form 3 should be able to come up. But at this time, let me add, if I can find one of you. Right, it comes up. I'm going to add Ivadne Harding. I'm just going to add two of you because the time's sake. U.am, right? Comes up, and then I say send email. So you're only going to send an invite to the person. So here's a screen. The tools that you have, you have to, you can mute, unmute, you can turn on and off your video. You should know that already. And then you can share by clicking present now. Now, when you're presenting, there are two options there. You can either present your entire screen or you present a particular window. That means you can have multiple windows open on your desktop, and the students will only be able to see that window. When you click window, you have the option of saying, I only want the students to see the Word document, right? And that's all that they'll see. Okay. You stop presenting. The other significant feature is your audio and video settings. On the audio, you can select your microphone, right? And on the video, you select your camera. That might be a problem you might have to help the students with as they come in. Sometimes they can't hear, or you cannot hear them. You'd have to help them to direct them as to where to go to click on your settings and to adjust their microphone and their video. Other option that's there that makes sense now is your layout option. You can decide that only the person who is speaking will be seen, or you can say you want a sidebar with all others who are on it, and so on. And you can go here to record meeting. You probably would not have seen the option to record the meeting before, because Ms. Johnson White just turned that on yesterday. And when you're recording the meeting, you need to let the students know that you're recording the meeting. Captions is an auto-generated feature by Google. One recommendation I can recommend to you when you're teaching is that you always try to use dual screen, right? Try to use dual screen. What do I mean by that? Let me show you. If I can show you my setup right here, you'll see that I have my laptop, but I also have another screen that I'm looking at, right? That's a very important setup because when you're sharing your PowerPoints, it's hard to be having the class on your laptop, okay, on your laptop, and then be sharing PowerPoint on the same screen. So what I do is to have dual screen and do extended desktop in order to put the PowerPoint on that screen, and then when I click present now, I make sure that I'm going to select screen 2. So once you have 2 screens connected to your laptop or your computer, it will give you the option to have screen 2 or screen 1. All right. Okay. Yes. So, and you have to watch out because some people, the Google Meet will ask you to accept them in the meeting. You have to pay attention to that. And during the meeting, you have the feature there, you chat and so on. But again, computer technology is for those who will explore. Explore. Before I close, let me end this meeting. I want to show you some options, some other powerful options that you have in the G Suite package. One of them that you need to explore is your website. Okay, as a teacher, you can have a website. Oh, I was using the wrong account. It wasn't coming up. Sites, right? So sites. Well, I mean, it's almost the same thing as the Google Classroom, but it does that this is a more permanent place. You can create a site that you can use to place material, place resources for the students to access. So rather than them coming to you every time, you direct them to the site. All right, that's something we can explore another time. But again, you can go and explore it yourself because really everything on it right now, again, as I said, is just Google replicating itself and morphing itself to meet a different need. But in terms of the experience of using it, you would have had that experience while using any Google account.
Question, Pastor.
Yes.
Each time, so for example, I have Form 4 and I have them twice per week. And I create a link which I send to the student. For the next class, do I have to create another link?
Yeah, that's
each time do I have to create a link or I can copy and they use the same? Is that possible that they can copy the one link and use it all the time?
Are you talking about Google Meet?
Google Meet, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I have not checked that, but what I think you may have to create it each time because each time you're actually creating a meeting. But what I'd recommend for you now is that you could schedule your meeting by Google is saying that you can go to your calendar, and when you add an item, select, for example, let's say, oh, we're at the 30th. Let me go into May. Let me create an event, right? And I'm going to, you say this is Form 3 Bible. I should be able to make this a Hangout meeting at conference. It's giving me Hangouts. Why is it? Oh, it's giving me Hangouts because I'm using the wrong account. Let me switch to the. Why? Don't do this at home. I have too many things on my. All right, so let's say I'm going to create let's say Form 3 Bible. And I'm going to make it a conference. You notice it has Google Meet video conference. What I do then is that I should be able to repeat this event. Is from May 14, and I'm going to make it for the rest of the term. So I'm going to put it at the end of June. And it's not all day, and it's going to repeat weekly on Thursday, or I could do custom. I could say I want it to be every Monday, every Tuesday and Thursday. And it's going to...
Pastor, can you see the screen, please?
Oh, you're not seeing the screen? Oh, my... Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. Print 2. Oh, I'll have to start over. All right. So what I did just now was that I go to calendar and make sure I'm selecting my Willowdene email. When I go to calendar, so for the class that you're doing, let's say you have it every Tuesday and Thursday. So you go to the first one, let's say the 28th, and I say Form 3 Bible. And I click on Google Meet. So if automatically it has Google Meet integrated. And I could add guests, meaning that I could add the entire class. If you notice the class is coming up, I could have all the students from Form 3 Bible as guests, right? And then I add my Google Meet conference, set up that. So that means it's going to automatically create that link for you. And I want to repeat this meeting. So I go to more options and I say, it's not going to be all day. It's going to be from 10 o'clock to 11:30. And it's going to repeat custom. I repeat Tuesday and Thursday. And I repeat, it ends on June 30th. Okay. Right. So it will automatically end on June 30th and it repeats Tuesday, Thursday. And I say it's twice per week. No. Let me keep it at that because I've already selected the day to repeat it on. So let's click done. And I save this event. Would you like to send invitation emails to Google Calendar guests? Yes. So all the guests. If you notice now, it already assigned these events. It did it twice because I did one before. So it's in your calendar now. So every time you need to start the meeting, you click the event and click join Google Meet. And the students will do the same. Can somebody who got the email, if you're a part of the class, you should be able to receive that. You should have received that email and could join. So that would solve your problem of having to repeat the link in Google Meet. All right, but again, as I said, it's Google apps that you're working with that you would have been exposed to before, and you are better off just exploring and learning how to do it. All right. If there are no questions, I'm going to hand over to you, Ms. Lawrence Brown. And thank you guys for listening.